Well, hi, and welcome to the next stage of our trip. We'll be leaving England for the last time on this trip and heading over to Japan. We arrive in Japan via Tokyo, but we head to Sapporo straight away. And Sapporo, hopefully, we'll be meeting my brother Laurie and my good friend Andy. Will be joining us for some skiing in the North Island of Japan. At Sapporo, we're lucky because we'll be there during the Ice Festival, which is where they do these gigantic ice sculptures in the street. And if we're real lucky, we'll be able to go for a tour of the Sapporo beer factory, perhaps. The North Island of Japan is kind of famous for the Siberian winds that blow across there, and so we'll be heading to the next stop after Sapporo is Niseko, which is a ski resort, effectively, town that's in between several ski resorts and at the bottom of a huge volcano, as you can see there. And as I say, the Siberian winds blow in from Russia, and Niseko is actually quite famous for being having a lot of powder snow on the ski resorts. Highly populated by Japanese skiers and apparently Australian skiers too. So once we've done our skiing, I think Laurie heads back to Oz, and Andy is going to join us on basically a train trip from the North Island down across the water there, somehow or another, on the train to Nikko. And in Nikko, we will be visiting the Shogun temples. Apparently, this is what it's famous for. So hopefully we'll be able to experience the Japanese style hotels, which we've heard a lot about, and we'll be basically doing a rail trip from this point. And in Nikko, we will hopefully experience some of the Shogun temples that are there. I think there are monkeys as well, apparently, that this town is famous for. From there, we'll take the train down to Tokyo and spend a few days there. Tokyo is that big mass that you can see in the center. But then from Tokyo, we'll be heading down to visit Hakone, I think is how you pronounce it, which is effectively where Mount Fuji is, and you can see Mount Fuji kind of in the background there on Virtual Earth. So it's going to be in February, so everything will be covered in snow, and unfortunately we can't do a lot of the tours that you can do, hikes and things up to Mount Fuji during the summertime. But it's a very volcanic area, so it's kind of lots of hot springs and that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll get to take in some of those sights while we're there. It seems very rugged from the Virtual Earth rendering here. From there we'll be heading to the most beautiful town in Japan, apparently, Kyoto. And it is famous for that. Apparently it's supposed to be very Japanese type of town, and very pretty and old Japanese style. But I was just reading actually that when people arrive in Kyoto first off, and it certainly looks that way from Virtual Earth here, that they're often disappointed because it's quite a sprawling city. So apparently you have to look for the old Japanese beauty that exists in Kyoto, and we'll be spending a few days there, so hopefully we will find it. It seems to be surrounded by beautiful hills, but it does seem to be a big city. From here we'll take the train down further south as we go, as far south as this trip will take us, and that's to Hiroshima. And again, this is a gigantic city, an industrial place apparently. There's supposed to be some day trips outside of Hiroshima to some more scenic areas, but obviously the memorials from the Second World War in Hiroshima, and just another opportunity to experience another large town in Japan that isn't Tokyo. And you can see there those islands in the bay. Apparently they are accessible for day trips, so hopefully we'll do something there. And then from Hiroshima we'll be taking the train all the way back to Tokyo from there, and then that actually ends our tour of Japan. And from Japan we will be heading to Thailand.